Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from North Bryan School. My name is Sifu, Bryan. I'm a North Bryan Kung Fu teacher with over 30 years experience. It is the 13th of March 2022. Welcome to my weekly quote. Let's get straight to it. The media's the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power. Because they control the minds of the masses, the press is so powerful in its image-making role, it can make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you ain't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Malcolm X. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I think I'll read it one more time. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power. Because they control the minds of the masses, the press is so powerful in its image-making role, it can make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you ain't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Malcolm X. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And that's what the media is. The media are very, very powerful. And it's very interesting because you're going to find me talking about the words today and what do words mean, because in every word there is obviously a meaning behind it. And the word media, if you go and look up the word media, you're going to find it very interesting, but not just in the English. Look up it in ancient Latin or ancient Greek or ancient Hebrew, and you'll see the origins of the word media. And some of the words I came across for media is sorcerer, magician, and schemer, planner. These are some of the things that I find the media are. They scheme, they plan, they hardly ever tell you the truth, or they'll tell you some truths and a lot of BS basically. And the media in this country and around the world is a disgrace. But another thing, what I found out with the media is that there are two main people that control our media around the world, and that is BlackRock and Vanguard. Check it out, do a bit of research. We've got here 6 corporations control over 90% of the media in the US, but 2 asset management firms over 90% of the media worldwide. The media is not there to give you information, it's there to control how you think, and that is true. 90% of the media is controlled by these people, BlackRock and Vanguard. Do your own research. So if you don't think they've got an agenda, then you'd be very sadly mistaken. Let's look at the word propaganda, because that's another thing. Propaganda is any sort of art, media or literature that promotes a political viewpoint, especially through deception or cheap appeals to emotion. Another one, information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view. Most definitely, propaganda is being used left, right and centre. And I can't remember where I've read it, but I think they've now got a legal right to do propaganda on their own people. They used to do propaganda in war countries and stuff like that, but they actually can use it now on the general public. And this is a lot I saw it through the coronavirus a lot of propaganda was used, a lot of coercion was used, and I kept saying to people, just hold out, because a lot of it is BS for something that is 99.9% recovery rate. And if you did held out, well done, because now they've more or less dropped everything, and I'm hearing now that they're going to look at these health passport for flying, and that will probably be dropped at some point or no. But the propaganda was ridiculous. And oh, do you remember the propaganda about the Iraq, going into Iraq, and weapons of mass destruction? That again was disgraceful, and we know who should be in jail for that. Yeah, the killing of thousands of people, millions, and babies, and all sorts of things. And who's it? Blair should be in jail. But now we're seeing more propaganda with Ukraine and Russia and all this sorts of stuff. And I'm just saying to people to take a step back before you make a decision on anything, because again, you know, propaganda is any sort of art, media, or literature that promotes a political point of view or viewpoint, especially through deception, cheap appeals to emotion. And if you look at the media, a lot of it is connected to emotions. Get your emotions ramped up, so to speak. And when there's people, only two people or two organizations that control the world media, that's very, very powerful. And in this quote by Malcolm X about the media making the guilty look innocent and the innocent look guilty. Well, what did they do in Iraq again? You know, it's a shame. And now with this war and stuff like that, you're seeing information coming out about the true data of how many people have been infected with these jabs and stuff like that. They're bringing out data showing you how many people have died from these jabs and how many people have been affected by it. And the government has now set up a website where if you've been affected by, you've had adverse effects, they're willing to give you up to £10,000. But again, this has come out quietly, but this is on their websites, and there are thousands of people that have been affected by it. But the media have their agenda, which is connected with the government, because they're just the extension of the arm of the government. So we've got to be very, very careful what we see in the news propaganda, which is news propaganda. And of course, any argument can sound effective, so to speak. You know, I can put up my argument of why we shouldn't do certain things, like take the so-called jab or go to war. But then the government put up their argument to say, oh, but because of the humanitarian, and look at the poor children. But they weren't so protective of their own people when they were trying to force them to take these, and making people lose their jobs and livelihoods over something that was 99.9% curable. So we've got to be careful not to be emotional, but to step back, breathe, and do a little bit of research, because from my research, Ukraine is not innocent. There's a lot of propaganda in that country. There's a lot of money laundering, a lot of Nazi factions in that country, and a lot of American senators and presidents have got their sons and grandsons sitting on their energy boards out there and taking in a lot of money, So that's why a lot of these countries have interest in the Ukraine and so forth. And also we're hearing of what is it, bioweapons laboratories on the borderlines of the Ukraine, and Putin has said that he wanted these things removed years ago, so this could have been avoided if they listened. And I'm hearing that they are gathering a lot, the Russians have gathered a lot of evidence, but they're painting Russia to be the bad man, the bad person. I would just say take a step back, remember the lies of the media, they're not to be trusted, and do your own research. But now the American government is now admitting, because of all the information that's coming out around the internet, that they've now confirmed that it is true. So, you know, we've got to, I think in the time that we're in now, they call this the time of the awakening, that we do have to take a step back and not be manipulated or bamboozled or the magic of the media, not to be sucked into it, or the sorcerer, not to get sucked into it, but take a step back and let's just see what's going to happen. Yeah, but the quote here from Malcolm X is very, very powerful. I'm going to read it one more time. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power. Because they control the minds of the masses, the press is so powerful in its image-making role, it can make the criminals look like they're the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Malcolm X. Powerful. Powerful, powerful. So, in this segment, I think if you've learned anything, I would say don't believe everything, because it's controlled by two main people, which is BlackRock and Vanguard. And they represent 90% of the media, and you'll know that by the words they're using, and they'll use the exact same words. So do just a little bit of research, but I do love this quote and I do love this saying. Powerful, love it. So guys, on that note, don't forget to like, share and comment. And tell me if you've done any research of your own into what I've said today. And yeah, guys, take care, stay blessed.